Okay, I think we're going to kick this thing off. Good day to all of you joining us today to learn a bit more about land-based Galapagos itineraries with Tropic Ecuador. The voice of Oz right now on your line is Tad Bradley. I'm the North American marketing representative for Tropic Ecuador. I'm based in Seattle, Washington, but I'm joined on the line from Quito, Ecuador by Josivan Carvalho, the managing director of Tropic. Hi, Josie, how are you?
Hey, Dad, thank you so much for the intro. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today. It's going to be an exciting hour. We look forward to sharing a lot of our work here in Ecuador, specifically in the Galapagos Islands. So, yeah, very excited to be here. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Josie. I'm going to give a short introduction to Tropic and then pass it back to the real expert, Josie, as well as his Quito team, who's in the room there with him, for their virtual tour of the many diverse land-based options for visiting the Galapagos. If you have questions, please submit them in your control panel and we'll answer them at the end of the presentation. We are also recording this webinar, so if you need to step away or want to share this with other colleagues in your office, you'll receive a link to the recording tomorrow, so don't sweat it if you have to jump off the line. So as I mentioned, the whole Quito team is in the office with Josie, and I want to introduce our dream team. There they are. Tropic, as I said, has offices in Quito. That's where we are today, where Josie and his team are. But we also have an office in Puerto Ayora on Santa Cruz Island in the Galapagos. And our entire Quito team is there on the webinar, and they're ready to answer your questions at the end of the presentation. Hey, Quito team, will you say hola to those on the webinar, please?
Hola.
Well, there's actually, sounds like there's only 2 of you there, but there's actually about 15 or 20. So they're ready to join us and be a part of this presentation. Our consultants are some of the most experienced and knowledgeable in Ecuador and in the Galapagos. They have years of experience working with the travel trade to develop very unique and tailor-made itineraries throughout Ecuador. We also have a top-notch operations team, both in Quito for mainland itineraries, as well as in the Galapagos. So your clients will be in very good hands while exploring this amazing and very diverse country. In addition, we have an on-tour, what we call the on-tour team, which proactively works with your clients on the ground to make certain all their needs are being taken care of and they are having an exceptional journey while in Ecuador. This team also provides regular updates to you, the agent. So if something does go awry, and we all know this is the travel business and occasionally things do happen, you aren't caught by surprise with a phone call or an email from your client. Obviously, also, we're going to share with you the good news on the exceptional experiences that your clients are having. But in both cases, this gives you, as well as your client, the peace of mind that they are in very good hands while with Tropic. Josie, you want to hit the next slide? Tropic has a long history in Ecuador and is really one of the pioneers of sustainable and responsible travel in the country. As you can see from this slide, we operate as DMC, as I mentioned, designing tailor-made journeys throughout Ecuador. We also have a series of expeditions, both group and private, which are designed with a bit more adventure, and we'll talk about a couple of those in the Galapagos today, a couple of our group departures. And then we also operate a number of boutique-style eco-lodges in spectacular locations throughout Ecuador, including in the Andes, Galapagos Lodge, which we'll touch on briefly, in the Amazon, and in the Galapagos. And we'll discuss the lodges in the Galapagos in a lot more detail today. As I mentioned, Tropic is a pioneering company in Ecuador in the sustainable and community-based tourism realm, and they've received many awards acknowledging this work over the years. Most recently, if you look in that photo in the bottom right, there's Josie accepting the National Geographic World Legacy Award for engaging communities back in November of 2015. A really exceptional honor for 20 years of work with various communities throughout the country. They are also Rainforest Alliance certified and have been for many years, and there's a whole host of other awards that you can dig into later as you have time. But today we are here to talk about the Galapagos and talk about visiting the Galapagos by land, and I'm going to kick it back over to Josie to dig into that and take us on this virtual tour of Galapagos land-based itineraries. Over to you, Josie.
Thanks, Dad. Excellent. Thanks for the intro. It's good for a change to hear someone else introducing you instead of you trying to do the whole thing. I feel very humble about the beautiful things that you have said, and but also very optimistic and with a lot of pride to present Tropic and this vast amount of work and recognitions that we've got over the years here in Ecuador. Well, going to the Galapagos, what can I say? I would like to start by saying that we didn't realize the demand for land-based Galapagos tourism was that big until we started offering it a decade ago. So it's still relatively new offer, and as a way to experience the Galapagos and this amazing World Heritage Site. And well, as you know, after promoting naturalist cruises for over 20 years, we felt that we needed to explore the islands a bit further. We wanted to get the locals more involved. We wanted to bring a different perspective of the Galapagos Islands to our clients. And as soon as we started offering this alternative, the travelers came out of a market segment we didn't even know existed. And I hope we give you today some fantastic reasons why a land-based Galapagos adventure could be a great choice for your adult clientele, or a multi-generation group, for families, or even small affinity groups or a small group of friends. We have had several experiences, and Nati, who is looking at me now, I was asking her, okay, give me a wide range of ages that we have got in the Galapagos land-based over the years. And she told me that the oldest person that came with us was a 93-year-old lady that came from the UK. And the youngest kid that's been with us was a 3-month-old baby called Alegria, that is my daughter. So as you can see, we cover a big range of ages among our clients, but I would say that the average age is from 75 to 9 years old that are experiencing right now this program. So Galapagos by Land with Tropic is a combination of active, fun wildlife adventures with educational messages about natural history, theories of evolution, and the locals' efforts to protect this paradise, and finding a sustainable balance that includes responsible tourism initiatives. I think it's a great way to start to mention a few differences from a land-based exploration and a sea-based exploration. I think that all of the people online probably know the Galapagos and probably have known the Galapagos for many years due to the cruise industry. And I would like to say that we select dozens of boats, cruises itineraries, and even cabins on different boat options for clients from all over the world every year. And what I'm trying to say here is that there are different needs and expectations about the Galapagos holiday, and our role as tour operator and agents, and especially in being your eyes, ears, and hands on the field, is to help choosing what's best for them. So we're not here to present a complete opposite competition to the cruises as a land-based. We are just trying to present it as an alternative and as an option for a different type of client. As an Ecuadorian entrepreneur and ambassador, my role is to try and inspire you to commit to Ecuador as a unique tourism destination on your portfolio of products. Our role here is to promote Ecuador, and obviously now and today we're going to talk exclusively about Galapagos by land. So a bit about the boats. Let's go back to the boats. Boats run cruises from 5 up to 15 days, being the most popular and our preferred ones, the 8-day ones, as it allows you to visit the far-out islands we cannot get on a land-based trip, and visiting places like Fernandina, Genovesa, or the northwest of Isabela. Clients would be expecting to see flightless cormorant or a large redfoot booby colony should be advised these species are only found in one of those islands. Group sizes vary from 16 to 90 passengers, and itineraries are fixed. They run only shared departures, unless you have the budget to charter a boat for yourself, and nights are spent obviously aboard the boat. On a land-based trip with Tropic, you have on our shared departures programs a maximum of 12 people. So smaller, more intimate, and a better client-guide ratio will be available on these type of programs. You won't get seasick for a week, and if you get, it will be for less than 2 hours, and at the most on our longer programs 3 times. You have also the very popular opportunity to choose private departures with several thousands of dollars difference from chartering your own boat. And even when you're staying on inhabited islands, you will see that especially our lodges are perfectly located in the most unique, exclusive, and secluded sites in each island. So a land-based trip does not mean staying in the middle of a town surrounded by cars, bars, etc. That's not our vision for a Galapagos experience. As I said before, after 10 years, you develop a vast amount of knowledge of your product and destination, especially when you have a dream team of locals working with you, giving you the latest on wildlife development, scientific findings, new regulations, and especially close interaction with our guests, enabling us to constantly create new, innovative ways to explore the islands. As you can see on this slide here, we're showing basically a very simple map of the Galapagos and especially how connected the four inhabited islands where we operate are related to each other, right? A bit of the logistics. There are two main points of entries to Ecuador from abroad, Guayaquil and Quito, right? Guayaquil in the coast, Quito in the Andes being the Ecuador capital. From Quito and Guayaquil, there are multiple flights that run on a daily basis to Baltra and to San Cristobal. Santa Cruz and San Cristobal are basically the two main islands with commercial flights flying in from the continent on a daily basis. There's another airport in Isabela, which is the biggest island of the archipelago, for inter-island flights. So talking about inter-island flights, those are the connections between the islands. You can fly between Isabela, Santa Cruz, and Cristobal. And Floriana Island and all of the other three islands are also connected with daily speedboat rides. So I'm going to go and talk a little bit about each of the islands, starting with Santa Cruz, which is the main port town, very busy and dynamic for Galapagos standards, and a center for day trip explorations to the national park islands, diving trips, land-based diving trips, sorry, as well as is the home of the Charles Darwin Research Station, the Galapagos National Park headquarters, and soon again, home of our very own Lonesome George, a conservation icon that will be back in Puerto Llora soon, and will enrich the educational, scientific experience of our clients and inspire, hopefully, young and also older naturalists. Santa Cruz is also where our Galapagos office is located and where the majority of our clients arrive, and where we coordinate most of the logistics for our lodge operations and programs. As you can see here, we are putting a few samples of activities you can do in Santa Cruz Island, from daily trips to the national park islands that surround Santa Cruz Island. You have nowadays a popular activity of artisanal fishing that in the beginning was a little bit controversial for people thinking, well, I'm not really interested in going to the Galapagos to fish. But when you think that the national park is converting fishermen into local guys, they're basically taking people to spend some time with them on their boats and maybe doing a little bit of catch and release, it becomes a very interesting way to transform an extractive activity into a conservation activity like tourism. You have discovery diving and land-based diving, discovery diving being used by people without experience, and obviously more experienced divers will be able to go on a couple of dives into the surrounding islands of Santa Cruz. Like I said, the Charles Darwin Research Station that we believe is an iconic place and that deserves attention, that deserves support from the world, is basically where science is happening, and we expect to inspire people to support it, but also learn that science is a very important thing that is happening in the Galapagos, and we should support it. It's not only about tourism as a business per se. Floriana Island. Well, this is the smallest island with the smallest community living there. And I personally have a connection with this island. This island only has 150 people there and represents the old Galapagos way of life, and where you can meet some of the original Galapagueños. This is where the first settlers arrived, and we'll witness firsthand caves where the first Galapagueños of Floriana were born and lived, where pirates used to hide, and how the residents now still live from the lands in harmony with the unique Galapagos ecosystem and biodiversity. If you want to know more about Floriana, or inspire your clients maybe to go to Floriana, make sure that you don't miss the new documentary about Floriana, available now, called The Galapagos Affair on Amazon or Netflix. My affair with Floriana started 5 years ago when I was invited as an ecotourism expert to work with the local community, these 150 people that I mentioned, to explain them how tourism works. They were and they still are very interested in tourism. Tourism is very little developed in this island, and they basically wanted to start something new, something different, something more collaborative, where local small restaurants, homestays, the lodge owners, the transport, the local hosts are all working together trying to sustain their local economy, but also keep control over the amount of people they wanted in their community, and to keep things on a slower pace where they can still enjoy the lifestyle that they desire, but also provide great services to the people visiting them. As you can see here in the photo, where we have now available a few activities like the fun thing we brought a few years ago to the islands is stand-up paddleboard, amazing wildlife, but what's more important, and I think the highlight of Floriana, is learning about the human history of the Galapagos Islands. Moving on to Isabella, my wife's preferred place in the Galapagos Island, is the biggest island of the archipelago, home of the second biggest crater on Earth, an active volcano. We will explore Sierra Negra while walking on miles of white sandy beach as well, and enjoying the laid-back lifestyle of this fishing village and what I like to call the Galapagos in miniature. We will be swimming with penguins, marine sea turtles, shark watching at the shark canal, visiting flamingos, biking along giant tortoises. And Isabella is where Tropic started working 8 years ago, when we decided to go to the Galapagos after setting up an award-winning operation in the Amazon rainforest. We needed to start promoting the Amazon project, and we said, well, maybe we should find a good match of a product in the Galapagos Islands. So I went there, visited different islands, and fell in love with Isabella. Isabella it really is paradise. And basically, at that point, it represented to me what our clients wanted to experience. This image of a remote island in the middle of the Pacific with white sandy beaches and palm trees, but also amazing wildlife, amazing diversity. And we launched back then the Galapagos walking tours. We were sharing in the early days only one island as an option to see the Galapagos, a completely different options to see the Galapagos. And nowadays, here we are operating in the 4 islands and basically doing tailor-made programs. So moving on to San Cristobal, I want to go back to land-based Galapagos adventures and what type of experience they offer. And it's geared for families. I just came from the Galapagos right now, spent New Year's Eve, and we spent a lot of time in Cristobal. And we found one of the main reasons why we like land-based trips, and that offers plenty of space and a dynamic that facilitates everyone's tastes. Learning about evolution, geology, ecology, an educational experience on a natural laboratory of evolution. And Cristobal, to me, represents a great place for families to explore on their own, ideally better informed about the islands as an extension of one of our programs or a cruise maybe. Learning how to surf here, snorkel or dive at Kiko Rock, or go on a day trip exploration to Española are, to me, one of the few highlights you have to experience here in Cristobal, with an amazing, amazing interpretation center where basically on your own you can understand and learn a lot about the human as well as the natural history evolution of the Galapagos. So when we talk about Galapagos land-based trips, it became popular over the past decade because of the multiple lodging options that appeared. You nowadays, we are presenting to you the latest of Tropic, which is a small group of villas that we've been helping the owners develop the service in Santa Cruz Island for our a la carte programs. But remember that as well as with boats, there are multiple accommodation choices and standards, from luxury villas and high-end exclusive properties to more basic options in towns are available. So one of the amazing things, when we talk about Galapagos a la carte, when we talk about 4 islands, when we talk about the logistics and how easily connected they are nowadays, you also have to keep in mind that you have multiple lodging options, from luxury, high-end, amazing lodges to more basic properties to to properties in the mid-range. And we, by having a team on the ground and so many years of traveling back and forward to the Galapagos with our groups, we have developed a vast knowledge of which are the right properties we can use, which properties perform well with the sophisticated clientele that we have to reach nowadays. So by saying that, I just want to give you the full picture in terms of options of lodges that we have, that we, using those base camps, we basically can use all of these different activities that we presented to you in the different islands where we operate. In our case, we have our own lodges, and basically that was a dream that I had 10 years ago. It was a long-term vision for our business that now is becoming a reality. And the idea for us was to create our own portfolio of properties that would enable us to provide a better flow and standards to our programs. And I'm proud to introduce them to you today. But before I start with each one, I wanted to mention that for us a lodge is about finding the right place, with the right hosts, with a great story to share with each one of our clients. And it's hard to understand that without coming and meeting each one of these characters, but I'll do my best to explain better the story of each one of these properties. So basically, when Tad was explaining that we are a DMC, a full-service DMC operator in Ecuador and the Galapagos, and we have our own expeditions, he also mentioned that we have our eco-lodges. And like he said, we spend a lot of time choosing the properties that we want to bring to our portfolio. We want a property that represents the destination. We want a property that has a conservation message. We want a property that also functions as a catalyst for economical development. And this is Tropic style, basically. This is the dream that we have as a company. It's not only a commercial pitch. This is the life of each one of the communities where we decided to work. And basically, the lodges represent this opportunity to create a value chain around these properties where our clients will go, where guides will get together, with all of the suppliers will get together and celebrate the time that our clients are spending and the honor to host them in each of these places. So Magic Galapagos is located in the highlands of Santa Cruz, and it has a lot to offer. Huge rock tunnels formed by the volcanic activity that made the islands are so famous. Giant tortoises call Magic Galapagos their home much of the year, and guests might see a handful slowly moving through the grounds, or many dozens dotting the meadow. Set in the highlands of Santa Cruz and away from the waterfront, this totally unique property surprises and delights. All 6 safari tents and 4 tree houses have gorgeous views, and guests are surrounded by nature as they sleep. Magic is a place to relax, walk the beautiful mountainside, turn your gaze to the beautiful havens, and to admire nature. One of the things that inspired me the most about Magic is basically the passion and the commitment from its owner, Polo, to create a sanctuary for giant tortoises. And his devotion and love for these animals is what starts the whole concept of Magic. And it's something that we are passionate about, and we want to support it. So for the ones of you that have had experiences traveling to Africa or promoting Africa as a destination, Magic Galapagos offer the same kind of concept. Raised platforms, a tented camp when instead of elephants cruising in front of your tents, you have giant tortoises passing in front of you, sleeping underneath, and walking around the property freely. So at Magic, we have a full capacity of 20 people on 6 comfortable raised in-suite walking tents with local artwork and stunning Galapagos views, and 4 unique elevated tree houses. Hot water, wireless internet, restaurant where breakfast and dinners are served. Sunsets from Magic are, well, magic. Enjoying the last light of day with a cocktail on the meadow deck is a relaxing pastime, as sharing stories of the day's adventures in front of the open-air main lodge's crackling fire. Magic serves sumptuous 3-course dinners. The chefs uses their culinary skills in the open kitchen to turn local ingredients into creative and elegant dishes. And after dinner, a stroll to the lava lounges, where a nightcap is the perfect way to end the day. especially if we're lucky to get Polo to join us and share with us the amazing stories of his lifetime in the Galapagos, being a sailor, a guide, and now as a hotel entrepreneur, as well as a local conservationist. I would also like to add, taking advantage of the image that you have in front of you, that Tropic was the first company to bring stand-up paddleboards to the Galapagos, thanks to a good friend of mine who introduced me to this amazing sport. They brought the first paddleboards a few years ago, and I couldn't believe the incredible opportunities to spot wildlife. It's the perfect angle as well as an incredible feeling to walk on water. But that image that you have in front of you says a lot, and basically says that Tropic has a unique and exclusive permit to run snorkel, kayaking, and stand-up paddleboard trips at the Itabaca Channel. And these are the adventures that launch from Magic Galapagos, or like I will explain later on, how is the first great impression that we give to your clients when they arrive in the islands. Going back to Floriana, as I said before, Floriana is surrounded by mystery and enchantment. One of only 4 inhabited islands in the Galapagos. It is home to a wonderful, secluded spot right on water. That's Floriana Lava Lodge. While the old Galapagos way of life has been slowly disappearing, Floriana's small population of 150 people has fought to keep the special character of their island intact. It is a place from another age, quiet, undisturbed, undeveloped, and utterly peaceful. There is no other place like it in the Galapagos archipelago, or perhaps in the world, and Floriana Lava Lodge is the perfect place to slow down and soak in the magic away from the crowds found on other inhabited islands. Located in Puerto Velasco Ibarra, Lava Lodge is owned by members of the Cruz family, one of Floriana's longest residence families. Built on black lava sands near the ocean's edge, the lodge cabins are situated on one of the best sites on the entire archipelago for sea views and gorgeous sunsets. It's comfortable and cozy, with friendly local service and a casual, relaxed air. Much of the food served at the lodge is grown by its owners, including the many of freshly squeezed juices you might enjoy with breakfast, along with some just collected eggs. They will have been brought from the cruise farm the night before or early that morning. Only 5 minutes walk from the village center, Lava Lodge is also only steps away from a sea lion colony that resides inside the national park. Guests can swim, snorkel, and paddle, or simply lay back and watch the island's most famous marine inhabitants in their natural surroundings. The lodge features capacity for 24 people. We have 10 in-suite cabins that sleep 2 or 3 each. Restaurants where breakfast is served, a special barbecue event during stay using organic, locally produced ingredients are also available. May I say also that with Floriana we have a specific way of operating. We obviously serve and provide certain services at the lodge, but it's also our intention to inspire our clients going into the village, meeting other locals, meeting a person like Lelia or Aura or the Freire family, all of these friends that we have made over the years who are basically the other restaurant owners. We're trying to spread the income. We're trying to share the value chain that tourism can provide. And that's one very specific characteristic of land-based trips. We can really distribute the income that your clients are spending. This is not staying only with us. This is staying with a lot of different people and suppliers that we have involved over the years. As you can see in the image as well, a unique location, probably one of the most remote lodges in the Galapagos, Floriana Lava Lodge, with amazing access to that bay, where we also have stand-up paddleboards and kayaks available, as well as snorkel equipment. And stargazing is one of the attractions is one of the darkest nights that I've personally been in my life. And the latest addition to our family of lodges is Isamar, where the soothing murmur of Pacific waves hitting the sand will be your constantly lullaby at Isamar. The white sand and turquoise water are only steps from your room, allowing you easy access to jump into your Galapagos adventure. Indigenous plant life adds color and beauty to the landscape, and the relaxed vibe of Isabela will have you on island time right away. Isamar is located on the beachfront in the sleepy fishing village of Puerto Villamil. Its location gives guests sweeping views of sandy beaches, swaying palm trees, and boats bubbling on the water. The hotel is walking distance to the Tortoise Breeding Center, the Flamingo Lagoon, water activities, and to the sandy streets of town where you can find bakeries, restaurants, and bars. Guests will follow into the footsteps of the early explorers and pirates, walking through wetlands and climbing volcanoes. All of the Galapagos water activities are on offer as well, including snorkeling, kayaking, surfing, and more. All of the land and marine activities during our visit give travelers the chance to experience the Galapagos' unique and incredible flora and wildlife. Isamar features a capacity for 20 people. We have 10 rooms, full-service restaurant and bar, outdoor social areas, and Wi-Fi. This is an incredible place. You know, each time that a client asks me where should they stay in Isabela, I mean, my answer is always you have to be steps away from the beach. Right? That's the beauty of waking up in Isabela and being able to go for a walk early in the morning or enjoying the sunset. Isabela, it really is paradise. You know, it's such a relaxed environment, but at the same time, so adventurous with the exploration of Sierra Negra volcano. It's really amazing. So going now into the expeditions, I wanted to explain a little bit more about this concept. And basically, the idea is that we have this possibility to tailor-made or craft any experience you desire for your clients. But with the experience that we have, we also decided to create our own programs that will deliver, that we know that they will deliver the experience that your clients are expecting. And we run private departures with selected and trained certified Galapagos guides. I think it's important to mention that even though our lodges are based on urban areas of its small towns, our programs are developed inside the Galapagos National Park. So going back to our guides format, we know that sophisticated travelers love their own guides and control over their trips. So everyone involved, our Galapagos Naturalist guides, our local guides, and our on-site that includes a concierge service available to monitor your journey and gently be proactively involved to adapt great changes when needed, as staff explained in the beginning of the presentation. And I also bet some of you are thinking, okay, well, but who this trip is it for? Let me now cover the family front, and being a dad of 2 young children, that traveling with kids for a week demands space. This is an ideal program for families, developed by families, and I am sure you will all agree, children demands freedom to run around. Our land and lodge base offers a lot of space for our kids to explore. I can bring my 6-year-old and my 4-year-old boy to give their own testimonial about their last experience, where they snorkel, hike, and even stand a paddleboard with me during Christmas Eve. Modern families need to reconnect. We don't have enough time together anymore, and our programs offer that possibility to stay together with their own guide, to connect or reconnect, and have excursions tailored to their preference and develop their own pace and dynamic. One of the reasons why we created this alternative was the flexibility to manage timings on our clients' terms. So let's check the examples of our 2 shared departure programs, and we can continue covering a little bit more of the expedition styles of our initiatives. So basically, I'm going to go through the shared departure programs, which is something new and unique that we're bringing this year for our clients, apart from the tailor-made as well as private departures available. We run weekly shared departures starting on Saturdays and Sundays with a lot of availability. With a live availability chart, we will provide you after this webinar. You can easily check the best suitable dates for your clients, download the unbranded itineraries, and confirm your trips with us. This specific combination of Santa Cruz, Bartolomé, and Floreana that you have on screen is a quick intro to the Galapagos world and exploration in Santa Cruz, and an iconic site and view with Bartolomé, And like I said before, a trip back in time to Floriana is what this program is all about. So when I discuss with staff what is the difference between this program with Floriana as an extension and Isabella as an extension, the first thing that comes to my mind is that basically this is an opportunity to travel back in time. Floriana means meeting the real Galapagos and going back 20, 30, 40 years to see a more raw Galapagos style. And this is basically what we want to share with our guests, you know, going from arriving in Baltra and going straight into the adventure, which is one unique feature of our programs, is that basically what we're doing is flying our clients into the airport of Baltra, and then instead of following the crowds, going all the way down to port and checking into hotels, we are offering clients the opportunity to go straight into their first adventure. After a quick change on the VIP lounge of the airport, our clients will go straight to their first snorkel and kayaking, as well as stand-up paddleboard activity in the Tabaca Channel in Florida. In the highlands of Santa Cruz, so we are never going straight into port. Actually, the port is only seen on the afternoon of day 2. Basically, on the first day, we go straight into our tortoise reserve to meet these emblematic species while feeling that you are on a very unique and exclusive site. On this specific shared departure, we decided to combine it with Bartolomé, which is one of the unique islands in the national park. This is an island that is heavily protected. Obviously, there is no one living there, and we basically use a day trip boat where will take us on the navigation, where we'll be able to see this iconic view of Bartolomé that everybody probably has seen on different brochures and catalogs, but also you have an opportunity to snorkel with penguins as well as the other wildlife available in this island. After Bartolomé, we come back to Santa Cruz. Another night at Magic Galapagos with hopefully opportunities to meet Polo, the owner of Magic Galapagos. Magic Galapagos will be sharing his stories and experiences of 40 years living in these islands, being a guide, being a sailor, and now being a hotel entrepreneur with us. On day 3, we move on to Floriana Island, and like I said, it's an opportunity to travel back in time and stay on this idyllic location where the owners of Lava Lodge built these amazing cabins. You're going to meet Claudio, who owns the Lava Lodge, who guides you as a local host, who will cook for you the barbecue, who will join you for breakfast, who's going to basically be your superhero at Floriana, sharing all of the stories and of murders and romance that Floriana has to offer. And I would like to share a testimonial that we recently got about Floriana and Claudio right now. The client says, meeting Claudio and seeing his farm afforded the opportunity for a great life lesson for me. I feel that it was very rewarding to see the challenges and real life struggles that are presented to the residents of the Galapagos. So this is what Galapagos by Land with Tropic is all about, is facilitating the connection between your clients and the local community, the local hosts, my personal friends, is basically letting your clients experience and seeing and feeling that they are supporting the local community. They are making a friendship with the local, and they are not only being served, they are being hosted by real people who are making a huge effort to live on this heavily protected area, to participate as the Galapagos guardians, as we like to say, but also being amazing characters on this journey of specifically in the Floriana case, traveling back in time. So going back to the comparison, and then we have another alternative of 5 days shared departures, as well as private departures, but in this case, with Isabella. So you'll ask me, okay, so which one should I choose, Floriana or Isabella? I think that if you have clients who want to go a little bit far from the crowds, who want to have the ultimate authentic experience, who have a particular interest on the local human history and culture, I would say without a doubt go to Floriana. But if you have a client who is looking for a more beach experience or more laid back fishing village sense, or you have a couple of honeymooners who want to have the feeling that are on paradise, I mean, Isabela is the place to go. Isabela is one of the most romantic places in Ecuador, is one of the most amazing islands, and obviously one of the most beautiful beaches that you will find in Isabela and the Galapagos, as well as in Ecuador mainland. And basically the flow is more or less similar in the beginning. You know, we arrive in Baltra, we quickly transfer clients to our exclusive operation of snorkel, kayaking, and stand-up paddle boards at Itabaca Channel. From there, we move to our private reserve of giant tortoises and magic Galapagos. On the following day, on our shared departures, we will go to South Plazas, where we will be able to see one of the largest colonies of sea lions, as well as land iguanas, which is another emblematic species of the Galapagos Islands. And from there, on day 3, we're going to move on to Paradise, Isabela Island, where we're going to be able to go to the Shark Canal and observe sharks. We'll be able to snorkel with penguins and huge green sea turtles, as well as obviously enjoy the beauty of staying on a beachfront lodging like Isamar. On the following day, a tremendous hike. This is the longest walk that we have available on all of our Galapagos programs in Sierra Negra. Some people ask me, you know, how far it is. It's basically a 16 kilometers round trip, so it's a full day. But one of the amazing things, excuse me, of the Sierra Negra hike is that you can also bring kids, because the way the national park separated the trails, that you have a shorter 1 kilometer trail where you can walk up to the rim of the crater, and then you have another trail that goes from the southern part to the northern part of the crater, which is a more or less 6 kilometer trail, and then you have the full experience where you can see a place exactly as in the picture down there, which is Volcan Chico, or Little Volcano, which is a parasitic volcano from the Sierra Negra large crater, where you have probably the most beautiful viewpoint in the Galapagos, where you can observe the northern part of Isabela, as well as the Bolivar Channel and Fernandina Island on a clear day. And I would like to go back to the wildlife aspect. You know, a lot of people say, well, but am I going to see as much wildlife as on a boat? Like I said, there are some specific emblematic species that you can see only on certain specific islands that you can only reach on a liveaboard. But the wildlife on a land-based trip, you know, you get the emblematic species of the Galapagos. You have blue-footed boobies, frigate birds, sharks, and sea lions right on arrival at Itabaca Channel, where we'll do some snorkeling and kayaking. Right on day 1, we're going to go straight into a giant tortoise reserve. So the emblematic species of the Galapagos is the giant tortoise, and all that you get on day 1. So it's a fantastic icebreaker, I would say. In Bartolomé and South Plazas, apart from being more protected and national park islands, we'll be able to see and snorkel with penguins, sea lions, sea turtles, and in South Plazas specifically, like I said, a large colony of California sea lions, marine and land iguanas. And frigate birds all over. You'll love to watch them dancing in the highlands of Floriana, where we have an exclusive site with a small lake of fresh water, where this incredible bird will come from the shoreline to wash the tip of their wings from the salty seawater. Galapagos green sea turtles, while snorkeling everywhere, one can never cease to watch them eat or relax on the sand while snorkeling. I don't think I mentioned that one of our lodges is located 10 minutes walk from a sea lion colony, where we will snorkel, stand-up paddleboard, and kayak with the playful creatures. Penguins, yes, penguins at the tropics. Sometimes in Floriana, right in front of our lodge, but always in Isabela. We'll have this closer encounter while kayaking in the bay. I will never forget when I saw flamingos flying right in front of Lava Lodge Bay in Floriana. But this one is called But this one can be found at the Devil's Lagoon in Isabella Island, 5 minutes walk from your hotel. So it's really incredible. So in a nutshell, we can basically offer all of the Galapagos wildlife, or at least the emblematic species of the Galapagos wildlife, combined with supporting the local community and working with the local community and having amazing hosts sharing unique, fun stories, and obviously fantastic lodges in unique locations where you can also relax and sleep without the movement of the sea. So I would like to show off a little bit about the different options with this slide here, basically to showcase and make sure that it's clear for everybody that on our expeditions range and line of business, we have the Galapagos land, sea, and underwater adventures, or basically the name that you prefer would inspire or will inspire better your clients. So basically here we have 4-night shared departure programs that we went through right now with an extension to Floriana or an extension to Isabella. And then we have private departures. We have private departures with 3 islands of 4 nights, 4 islands with 6 nights, and even 5 islands with 8-9 nights when we do an extension to Cristobal Island. Then obviously we have the Galapagos a la carte with activities in Santa Cruz, Isabella, and San Cristobal, and our Isabella walking tours, which are the original programs that we developed 8 or almost 10 years now when we first got to the islands. So this plan allows deeper interactions with local and destination, and you can see the amount of options we have available for you, from a la carte tailor-made programs to walking tours to island hopping combinations. Land-based Galapagos programs are all about high-end experiences. Our operations are all about adapting our programs to your needs. We have shared departures, and we also have depart any day of the week. We have flexible departure dates independent from fixed itineraries. We will adapt to your previous travel plans, either if it's combining from the US, the UK, the Amazon, the Andes, Machu Picchu, or maybe a cruise. Overall, very easy to sync with other travel plans and busy schedules. And as a final thought, the main reason why I got into the tourism business, meeting local people, sharing real and authentic stories. We'll never deny the fact that our main interest while visiting the Galapagos Islands is the high levels of endemism, amazingly accessible wildlife, and a marine and land protected area and World Heritage Site. But it also makes me proud and humble to have the opportunity to work there. But what gives me the motivation to keep evolving and finding ways for a more balanced development in this remote part of the world are its residents. People like Polo, Claudio, Jackie, Maria de Lourdes, Bolivar, that you meet and spend time with while learning about their lives, families, secret recipes, and incredible sense of humor and generosity. So this is what Tropic is all about. This is what Galapagos by land with Tropic is all about. And Ted, if you wanna, if you feel that we have time, we can go to the extension that we can provide in Ecuador mainland, or if you want to jump into the questions and answers, I'll follow your lead.
Great, thank you, Jossie. Fantastic presentation, and appreciate you giving us such a really in-depth overview of Galapagos by land and all of the variety of options and the flexibility in particular that it offers, and giving us a teaser on some of the characters and the human side of the Galapagos, which we hope all of you listening will come to experience and send us guests as well to experience, something that many people forget about, that there are humans that live in the Galapagos as well. Jossie, I think we'll jump into questions now about the presentation, and then we will we'll send out, after the presentation today, we'll send out additional information on extensions to the mainland in Ecuador. Sometimes people forget that Ecuador is more than just the Galapagos. There's actually spectacular opportunities for different adventures on the mainland, in the Andes, as well as in the Amazon, and also on the Pacific coast. And we'll send you more details on that. But for now, Jossie, you've got a number of questions here. You inspired a lot. Jossie, when would you say is the best time to visit the Galapagos?
Yeah, I would say that for clients interested in doing, especially a trip to Floriana, I would try and avoid months from July all the way down to October, because that's when we got we get rougher seas. It's also the time where the Humboldt current comes to the Galapagos, and we have colder waters, nothing that a wetsuit cannot protect us from, right? Remember that I also mentioned that we also have inter-island flights. So for people afraid of getting seasick or the rougher seas on speedboats, we can always fly clients between Santa Cruz and Isabela. But in terms of sunshine and that idea of a remote island in the Pacific with sunshine, I would say that from November all the way down to June, you have fantastic weather.
Perfect. You covered this in various places, but just a quick summary of the pros and cons of a land-based trip versus a cruise-based trip. If you can just give those highlights again, just to recap.
Yeah, sure. I mean, let's start with the boats. Like I said, we're comparing here. We love boats and we love our land-based trips, right? And I think it's a good fit for any of our clients whenever we understand exactly what kind of experience our clients are expecting. So going from the boats again, there are regimented itineraries. Boat sizes varies from 16 people all the way up to 90 passengers aboard. So unless you have the resources and the budget to charter your own boat, you'll be playing a lottery of hopefully finding like-minded travelers, spending time on a very small place. The advantage is obviously to go into the far-out islands, so choosing the right itinerary for you to go and see the specific endemic species you would desire. We personally recommend, we like to recommend the longer cruises, 7-night programs where you're basically covering the northern islands or the southern islands with very specific itineraries and wildlife to be seen. And then with the land-based trips, which is the main topic of the presentation, is basically that possibility to see those same emblematic species, but on a less regimented itinerary, on a smaller group. For example, our shared departure cruise will be at the most with 12 people. You're not going to be seasick for the whole week in case you suffer from that, or we get a lot of clients worried about getting seasick. I think that the land-based trips provides that opportunity. It can be very active, but it can be like, I like to say that it can be as active as you want it to be. You know, it can go from a multi-sport experience. You probably saw how many times I mentioned snorkeling, kayaking, stand-up paddleboarding. We do mountain biking. We do a lot of hiking. So it can go from a sense you're having a multi-sport trip all the way down to a walking tour, like I also mentioned. So one of the beauties, especially for the private departures, that we're very flexible in putting together the exact amount of activities and combination of activities. Because when you're talking about families or a multi-generation trip, you're talking about different tastes. You're talking about different levels of fitness, and you're talking about different interests. So I believe that on a land-based trips is obviously gives us the capacity to slow things down or rush things up or spend more time in the water, spend more time on the trail. And like I said, and I stressed a lot the fact that for families, a land-based trip is an ideal option to explore the Galapagos.
Perfect. Yeah, and I think there's another question here or a comment that it seems land-based trips would allow for flexible dates versus fixed dates, and that's coming from Bill. And Bill, I think you hit the nail on the head. The flexibility of the land-based option is one of the things that makes it so attractive. You're not set to not only scheduled dates, but you're not set to a schedule itinerary, which obviously the cruises have to keep to their daily itinerary because of the regulations that they have and the specific stops that they have to make, which is all good because that's helping to protect this incredible natural wonder, which is the Galapagos. But it does mean that there is less flexibility. And on land-based, we can do a private trip on any day, starting any day. We also, as Jossie detailed, have the scheduled departures as well, which is another option if you're interested in group travel, small group travel. Jossie, thanks again so much to you for an incredible overview of your operations in the Galapagos. Thanks to your team as well. And we look forward to sending you a lot more business coming from North America.
Thank you so much, Ted. No, we are the ones grateful for your time and generosity to listen to us, and we look forward to doing business with you all.
Thank you, everyone. We'll talk to you soon. Have a great rest of the day. Bye-bye.